Hi, my name is Ryan Boone, and in this video you will see a past GNN member and what she does nowadays. You will see how GNN helped her get where she is today, and you will find out a little bit about herself. I hope you enjoy.
My name is Savannah Deuer. I am a sophomore studying sport industry at The Ohio State University, and I have minors in history of art and communication. So what I do now ranges drastically a lot, actually. I was an intern for the Columbus Clippers, which is minor league baseball affiliate of the Cleveland Indians. I covered a Columbus Blue Jackets game for the Associated Press. I was given a byline in the Columbus Dispatch for an article I helped write about horse racing in Ohio. I do a lot of journalistic stuff. Basically, I want to say that I kind of report on sports, but in a different way. I write papers about sports now. When I was in GNN, I basically sat in front of a camera and talked about sports for everybody. The thing I enjoyed the most about GNN was that it really kind of gave me my start in broadcasting. It's really important in the sport industry, specifically in sports journalism and broadcasting, to get your start early, and GNN has kind of been the cornerstone of the reason why I was able to get the internships that I've had. Next semester I'll be working in public relations and communications for the Green Speed Academy in Columbus, which is speed and agility training for young kids, and it's run by Jeff Green, who was a wide receiver on the 2014 Ohio State National Championship team. So GNN really gave me kind of that knowledge to be able to really talk to anyone and be able to write my own stuff in a way that allowed me to be where I am today.
So what intrigues you about sports?
I think it's the passions. So you see people who are passionate about different sports, different organizations, different causes, and that really comes out specifically in the sports world. There's two things in this world that bring people together: music and sports. And specifically, collegiate athletics, NCAA, NFL, NHL, MLB, NBA, you really get to see kind of the passion that people have for the game, and the reason why I enjoy covering it so much is because it's different from what other people, especially other girls my age, are doing, and I always took a lot of pride in that.
What's a favorite memory you remember from GNN?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I'd say my favorite memory was my senior year, which was 2018. I was making a unique, specific background for my sports segments alone, and it was similar to the style of the backgrounds on Pardon the Interruption, which is a program on ESPN. So I had cut out, oh my gosh, I'd say like 100 different sports logos and mascots, and I was pasting them all together, and it was so fun because everyone would try. They were like, "Do you want any help?" And I'm like, "No, you're gonna mess up the format," just because I was so intent on having it this one specific way. But that was a lot of fun when I got to do that.
And what's the thing you remember from GNN that you have evolved into your job?
I would probably have to say the ability to try new things. When I came into GNN, I had no interest in editing. It was not my favorite thing. I didn't even want to pick up a laptop to do it. And now I edit and run my own podcast. So I would say probably the fact that, GNN gave me kind of that small market exposure to things where it was okay if I messed up talking about, the GHS men's basketball team, and that was okay. Whereas, now I have a little more of a spotlight put on me, and it's more important that all my information is as factual as possible.
Do you enjoy your job, and would you recommend it?
I love my job. I love what I do. I love the crazy hours that I work. I don't work a 9-to-5 job, especially when I have an internship. I work from whenever 2 hours before the game starts to about an hour and a half after the game ends, and there's no in between. It's great. I don't really sleep a lot during this semester because I'm doing so much in sports. I would recommend going into sports for anyone who's passionate about it, but it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot to make it in the sports world. You have to be resilient. You have to have grit. You have to know what you want. And sometimes it sucks because it can be hard at times. That first criticism you receive for doing something wrong, the first time someone tells you, we could replace you in a minute, that type of thing. That's hard to hear. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who's just the casual sports fan. You have to always be so up to date on everything that's going on in the league. You have to have skills. You can't just be a sports fan to work in sports. You have to have, professionalism skills, interviewing skills, writing skills. You have to be very organized. There's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people don't know about. And if you think that you have that and you have that ability, then by all means go for it and see where it takes you.
What do you hope to accomplish in your future?
I hope, obviously, my hope is to graduate from Ohio State, with a 3.0 or better. That's technically considered honors. My hope is, for my future, is that I'm happy and that I'm successful. I don't entirely know exactly what it is I want to do in sports yet, because a lot of people don't. But I take any opportunity that is thrown at me and kind of run with it as much as I can. My dream job, I would say, is eventually to be, work for Fox Sports Ohio, be, a broadcaster, basically, broadcast Cincinnati Reds or Columbus Blue Jackets games, or, really any professional franchise. To be able to be that head broadcaster, that head person would be, quite a dream come true for me.
And who inspires you?
I have multiple people that inspire me. On a personal level, it's definitely my mother. Just because she's such a strong and resilient person. She was always so supportive of me, so supportive of my dreams, always told me, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you go get it. And, she really inspired me to, go into such a male-dominated field where there's a lot of misogynistic views and misogynistic viewpoints, and she really inspired me to just go out there and get it no matter what everyone else says. On a professional level, I am a really big fan of Sarah Spain. She works for ESPN. She's a female reporter. She is fantastic. I think that she's phenomenal. She's very professional, and she expresses her opinions and doesn't care what anyone else says. And that's honestly the motto that I live by working in sports as a woman, because there are times where you feel beaten down by, the organization or, the men around you, but you just have to, put your head down and keep going.
If you wanted people to know one thing about you, what would it be?
I would probably say that there's more to me than you thought you saw in high school. High school is a really rough time for me, and I think a lot of people know that, but there's a lot more to me than who you saw in high school. Now I'm doing all these amazing things, and I had people, even teachers, tell me here that I couldn't do it. Or that I wouldn't make it because I was a woman. And there's a lot more to me than just the person that you saw here, because I, graduated here, and I really feel like I've kind of come into my own and really grown into the person I am, and just really flourished, in the sports world, and specifically at Ohio State.
What are your passions?
I like dogs, obviously. A lot of people say that one. Really passionate about, my friends and my family and my boyfriend, and those are things that are really, really important to me, obviously. But I'm also really passionate about writing. I love podcasting. I love radio. I love that type of thing. Sports in general. I mean, quite honestly, that's probably the biggest one outside of, friends and family is just sports, because it's what I grew up on. It's what I knew. And obviously I didn't stick to it because I was comfortable with it. I stuck to it because I thought I could be successful. And outside of sports, I really like to box. A lot of people don't know that about me. That's a big thing that I really enjoy. But overall, it's really just sports and Ohio State.
What is your favorite sport and team?
I would probably have to say Ohio State football. I grew up on it. I go to all the home games at Ohio State. I've traveled for Penn State, Michigan games. I've been to the Big Ten Championship twice since I graduated here. It's always just been Ohio State football for me. It was, like I said, what I grew up on. It was when I realized that I love sports, and it kind of gave me an outlet for, some feelings and mental blocks that I was going through in high school. It gave me that outlet, and it gave me that kind of feeling of community.
Did you go to college, and would you recommend it?
Yeah, so I'm a sophomore now. I just finished up my first semester. I would highly recommend college. College is fantastic. There are, of course, some times where it's not as great. you stumble, you have roadblocks, sometimes you trip and you fall, but you got to get back up, because the ultimate pursuit, is your degree, is your success in your field. Not everyone, it's not for everyone to go away to such a big school. Some people, it works better for them, to stay home and go to UC or NKU, and that's absolutely great if that's what you need to do and if that's what you want to do. But I would recommend college of any kind to anyone.
Do you see yourself being where you are, like when you were younger?
Maybe not exactly where I am today. I knew I wanted to go to college, and Ohio State was always kind of a dream of mine, so I kind of knew that part, but I never envisioned that I would go into sports. I had an interest in medicine when I was younger. My father's a nurse, so you could kind of see where that would add up. And then my freshman year of high school was when I kind of realized, like, this is really what I want to do. This is what I care about. I think I'm built for this. I'm tough. I can handle it. It just kind of went from there. When I was younger, I just really wanted to be strong like my mother. And I think I've developed into that, and obviously we're different people, but I never saw myself at this level of success at this young.
Would you ever give up who you are today?
I don't think so. I wouldn't change anything I've done. I don't have any regrets. I love who I am. I love what I do. I love where I am in my life. I've got great family, great friends, great relationships, just all across the board. I will say this, though, about working in sports, is that if anyone wants to work in sports, you cannot let it consume you. Because at the end of the day, it is just a job. It's a crazy, fun, amazing job, but it is just a job. You cannot let it take over your personality, because at the end of the day, you still have to be you. So I don't think I'd change or give up anything, really. I think I'm really happy with the decisions that I've made, and hopefully that streak keeps up.
To finish this off, what is one life motto you'd want to tell kids and teens to live up to?
It's don't give up, don't ever give up, by Jimmy V, which was, he was a legendary basketball coach, passed away from cancer. ESPN does Jimmy V Week every year, where they try to honor him and raise money for cancer research. There were times where I wanted to give up. There were times where I thought, is this the best fit for me in multiple aspects of my life? And thank God I didn't give up, because look where I am today. And that motto goes for everything, whether that's, don't give up physically if you want to, hit that 500-pound deadlift, or don't give up mentally if you're struggling, with mental health or depression or anxiety or anything like that. And don't give up on your goals, and don't give up on yourself, because if I had given up on myself, I never would be where I am today, and I don't think I would have had the courage to go away to college or to do anything that I've done today. My name is Savannah Deuer. I'm a sport industry major. I'm a sophomore at The Ohio State University, and I work in the absolutely crazy world of sports.